When you've taken a bulk of your note cards, you're going to want to click on the Note Cards tab in Noodletools and take a look at what you have already collected so that you don't waste time gathering notes that are unimportant. When you get here, your note cards are going to be piled up in the left-hand corner of your screen, and you're going to want to sort them out. Slide them around your screen like this, and you'll notice that they appear as gray dots in this bird's eye view. This allows you to see where all of your note cards are. Your entire workspace is actually larger than the screen that you see in front of you. So occasionally you might see a note card that runs away. You can do one of two things. You can move the blue box over and grab that note card, or you can also click and drag the desktop around. Either way works just fine. So we're going to sort our note cards out based on topics. We can sort in 3 different ways. We can make nice, neat columns or rows. We can clump ideas together, or you can make piles. You simply grab one note card, drop it on top of the other, and you give it a name. I will call this one Teaching Requirements. You might be wondering what you're supposed to use as a rule for sorting. That goes back to your research questions. You want to think about the things that you were curious about investigating and sort your note cards into those categories. So over here, I have note cards that reflect the different state laws regarding homeschooling. I found some note cards that talk about what the teacher requirements are. I have another set of note cards that I'm going to locate that talk about the pros and cons of homeschooling, because that will ultimately, I think, be a section of my paper. So here I have homeschooling is cheap, and when I just hover over the note card, I get a little pop-up that tells me something about it. That's partly why your titles are so important. Here's another note card about cheap homeschooling, and one that the economy is forcing it. That one doesn't really have anything to do with it. Here we have a concern about socialization. That might be a con note card. When I look up here and I see untitled, it doesn't really give me any clue as to what's inside the note card. And even hovering doesn't tell me very much. So it is really important to rely on those titles that you created. Here's another socializing note card. I'll bring that over here, and this time I'm just going to make a clump. And here's about different ways that you can learn. So as you start to sort your note cards into different categories and sections, you're going to want to verify that you have enough sources in each section. And this can be done fairly simply by hovering over the note cards. So here I can see my source is Eileen Dodd. When I go to my next one, this one is a different article. We're back to Eileen Dodd. And now we have one article by Quinn Cummings and one article by the other author that I'm not going to try to pronounce. So I have a nice variety here. One way to make sure that you have variety in a very visible way is to color code your note cards. When I click on the note card, it puts this orange box around it. I can select all the note cards by Eileen Dodd that I can find. And even if she's in other places on my screen, I can still select her. And I'm going to go turn all of the note cards by Eileen Dodd into a particular color. I go up to Tags, I select Color, and I'll pick one permanently dedicated color for Eileen Dodd. She's going to be red. If I keep looking, and here I have Quinn Cummings, I saw several note cards for Quinn Cummings, I'm going to turn his note cards one particular color too. I go back to Tags, I go to Colors, and I will turn all of the Quinn Cummings cards green. So eventually what I'm going to see is in each category or in each section, I should have multiple colors. Oops, I forgot to unhighlight poor Eileen Dodd. So let me do that. So here we go, she is now red. So down here I can see already that I have 3 different authors just by a simple glance because I see 3 different colors. Now, unfortunately, you gathered 10 sources and there are only 6 colors. You can alternately use cues to mark your note cards as well. So somebody might become a light bulb or an exclamation point or a question mark or a magnifying glass, and that's a different way that you can mark your card as well. Just so long as you have a visual representation in each section to show what you are trying to gather. That's basically the simplest way to sort your note cards out and figure out what you have and what you still need.